Okay, so today I'm gonna review a 2022 Ferrari 296 GTB Assetto Fiorano. And so let's get into this car. First thing, the specs. This car has, I believe, a 3.0 liter V6, which produces around like 700 horsepower and like 400 pound-feet of torque. And then also, I believe there is 2 to 3 electric motors in the back of this car that produce between 100 to 120 pound-feet of torque and 100 to 120 horsepower. And so altogether, this car creates around 819 horsepower and 563 pound-feet of torque. And the 0 to 60 is an astonishingly quick 2.9 seconds. And yeah, the engine is surprisingly small for a Ferrari. Most people would think a Ferrari should have like a V8 or a V12 mainly, but this one is actually a hybrid Ferrari if you didn't know. This car is this car is super powerful. The amount of torque it has is extraordinary, and horsepower. And yeah, so let's go into the design cues. As you first come to the side of this car, you'll notice this beautiful door handle, which you press and it pushes down, and then you pull the door upwards. And then you have this beautiful air intake right here, going across the side, the electric charging port. I think it's a plug-in hybrid, I believe. And you go across the body to the back of this car, and you have these beautiful rear lights, almost like the Ferrari Purosoga, but they're connected. And then you have this beautiful carbon fiber trim across the back, and then have those other lights. I like the way Ferrari used the dark gray and then mixed it in with this beautiful, I guess Porsche would call it speed yellow. And yeah, one of my favorite things about this car though is these separate rear diffusers. I like the way it's like two separate instead of just one huge one. It's really cool. And you have this crazy looking exhaust. It doesn't even look like an exhaust. It just looks like a hole in the back with two weird, like really weird looking pipes. It almost reminds me of maybe the early Porsche Boxsters. And yeah, and then you have this back piece right here almost reminds me of like the body of a Bugatti Chiron. They have this same type of piece going down, but it's just there's this carbon fiber piece that kind of moves from here to here. But yeah, I like this car a lot. This is really cool. And then you have, of course, the beautiful Ferrari carbon fiber trim. And one thing I noticed about the Ferrari's carbon fiber that's different from Porsche, the Ferrari carbon fiber seems like it's like smaller and not as like the squares aren't as large, but then the Porsche, the squares are large and you could see them really easy. And so let's get into this car. I'm not sure how the doors open, but we'll find out. Okay. Oh, it just opens like a normal door. I thought it would be like a gullwing door or something. And let me come into this car. As we sit in here, you have this crazy looking Ferrari steering wheel with the beautiful carbon fiber and this digital dashboard that says Ferrari 296 GTB. As you come and look back here at me, you'll see these seats are carbon fiber and leather. They are really seriously nice. I like them a lot. One of my favorite things though about these seats is this piece right here. I think it makes them look more racy. Like there's this space in here to kind of save weight, and it also makes it look more like crazy sports car. One thing I like about this car is the extensive use of carbon fiber. Let me close this door and you will see. This doesn't have the soft close like most luxury cars, but you'll see this beautiful, I forgot what kind of carbon fiber you call it. Kind of like, it's not shiny, it's almost like grainy carbon fiber, I guess you could say, but it's smooth. And it's just so beautiful the way Ferrari used this carbon fiber and just meshed the body, made the carbon fiber, made this door look like the outside of the car, make it look muscular and like crazy looking. And this car is so simple. That's one thing I like about it a lot. You have this really small storage area, which I'm not really sure what you're going to use that for. It seems a little bit too small for you to put anything useful in there, except if you have like a cigar or something. And yeah, as we come to this dashboard right here, it's so minimalist in carbon fiber. I love the extensive use on carbon fiber. That's one thing I feel like the Porsches are lacking. Like if Porsches had carbon fiber, they would look so much crazier. I love how Ferrari uses the gloss and then matte carbon fiber. So on the sides is the matte, and here's the beautiful gloss carbon fiber that stands out so magnificently, and it moves under the body. And one thing I don't like is when cars have it like up like this. I feel like this makes it look like crazier and more minimalist and sporty. You have your one cup holder right here that has like race tech inside. And then you have this button, I'm not sure what it's for. You have the most small amount of buttons possible. You have your reverse, I don't know what M stands for, or A, or PS. So I'm not really sure what those mean. And yeah, then it kind of sticks out. Oh my gosh, you move the windows with this little thing right here. This is for the drivers and passenger. That's really cool. Usually, it's going to be like right here or something, but here, no. You could be driving and you'll just simply do it. You'll still have your left hand holding on to the steering wheel. One thing I really like about this steering wheel, though, is how small and sport-like it is. I love this Ferrari symbol, so when you're sitting in this car, you could just see that traditional Ferrari horse in the middle. And yeah, this is really cool. But definitely one of my favorite things about this interior is gonna be the seats. These seats are just so magnificently crazy. I like the way they use the leather and carbon fiber, almost like the early 2000 Porsches, like the GT3s or whatever. And I like this leather mixed with carbon fiber. One of the only problems I have with Porsches, their lack of carbon fiber, and the other problem is I wish their race seats had leather. That's one thing I really like about Ferraris, is that they have the leather with carbon fiber, and then you have this beautiful yellow strip going down the seat of the car, almost like down the body of the car. You have this little rear window that you could see out of. And yeah, it's so simple. And you'll see here, there's this little things like seat warming and fan stuff, but really this seat is hyper minimalist. There's not that much in this car, which is pretty surprising. I thought it would be like a luxury car and there'd be a lot of stuff. You have this little area right here to store stuff. It looks pretty useless just because there's, I don't know what you could store in there. Most of these storage spaces look pretty useless in this car. But I love the way they used black and yellow, almost like a bee. I love that type of color. And then you come to the back, there's no rear seats. There's just some space back here that you could put stuff. This is kind of useful. For some unbelievably strange reason, you'll see you could hook a seat right there. I'm seriously not sure why. I believe it's like illegal or something like that to actually have a baby seat in the front passenger or driver seat. And that is kind of weird. I'm not really sure why that would be useful. And yeah, then you have the roof. This nice material. You have your little pieces right here to block out the sun. Surprisingly, they don't have the mirrors on them because it saves weight, and also it kind of makes them look cool. And yeah, you have this little area that you could put your pen under or something like that. But yeah, this car was really cool. I love the extensive use of carbon fiber, like I've said loads of times. And now let me try to escape from this car. Oh wow, you just press that button and the door automatically unlocks itself and you could get out. Now Now that is a really cool thing about it. I seriously did not know you could do that. That's probably now one of my favorite things about that car. You don't actually have to have a normal door handle. You just press that button and it automatically unlocks and you push it out. That's really cool. I think one thing this car's missing though is it would be way cooler if it had like some kind of butterfly or scissor doors. That would make it 10 times cooler. But yeah, I like this car a lot. And one thing I realized, oh yeah, and this I believe lifts up as a wing. One thing I realized about this car, the beautiful V6 is sitting right there. You fill the cap right here, fuel cap. I think you could lift this up somehow. And yeah, one thing I noticed is that every time I review a car, I like it even more. So let's say, like, I wasn't a huge fan of Ferrari before, but after reviewing this car, then it makes me like it more. It makes the car, like, I can actually get close and like feel the car and stuff, and it just makes it like cooler. It makes it cooler, and yeah, I hope you liked and subscribed. See you next time. I hope you liked this video, and make sure to see the Rolls-Royce Spectre video in the comments. Up on top of my head, it should be appearing right now. And see you next time.